Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for today, 11th of February 2022. Today's feature news is on a very important theme, that is Namami Gange Mission. This mission is initiated in the year 2014, is the spearheader or the one which is the flagship mission for cleaning of the river Ganga, the one which lays the foundation of agriculture in the great Indian Gangetic plains, lays the foundation for lives of 500 million people. 500 million people, almost 40% of our population. Along with that, 50% of the most vulnerable population, deprived or unprivileged population, and agricultural systems in the country, right? There are innumerable things attached to the river Ganga, and this is how we are going to study not only what is the issue with Ganga and Yamuna, but all the rivers at large, the kind of issues that all the Indian rivers face, what is the reason for their death or dying, and what are the new ways that can be implied, right, through new performances. We will also understand the evaluation of Namami Gange mission and also the basics. While we do the evaluation, we'll also understand the basics of the same, right? So before we begin this, let me welcome all of you here. Hi Hima, Amlan, Netra, Kriti, Ashish, Ravi, Bhavani, all of you, welcome all of you. All right, what else? Other people joining in late, welcome to all of you. People joining offline, their questions, please post them. No worries, we will deal with all of them, right? So today's feature is on Namami Gange Mission. Let's understand this. India is one of the countries with one of the most presence of freshwater reserves or resources. And you can very well see Ganga river is one of those where civilization was formed for India, right? Ganga was one of those rivers, and these are all images from Ganga river itself at its various levels or various ages. When it is youthful, it is between the mountains, it is sharp, moving at a very high speed, carrying a lot of load along with itself and moving downstream, right? It has a different image. And then when it comes to its midlife, right, so up to from Gomukh to Haridwar, it's upper stream, upper course, and then the middle course is from Haridwar to a place like Varanasi, and after that from Varanasi to the to Haldia or the coastal areas of Bengal. These are the areas where we see the huge delta formation of Ganga. So it's during its complete lifetime or its course, Ganga presents innumerable ways in which it can help people, right? And this is not only for river Ganga. Through Ganga you can translate it to all the rivers in our country or around the world. So specifically speaking of river Ganga, there are many ways in which it helps people. First of all, it provides potable water, drinking water, right? Putting an asterisk here. So lifeline, right? Jal hai to jeevan hai, potable water. This has been providing right now. Question, we will deal with this. Second of all, it provides an important economy to all of us. How? Agriculture. So when we are not able to cultivate through assured irrigation, the canal system or the river barrage system, this provides water to us through where? Ganga river. So it provides economy to agriculture. It provides house. So 80% of water utilized is for agriculture, 80% of fresh water, and rest of it is for industrial activities or household activities. Similarly, if you see, there is a value on society as well. It is also revolving around the river Ganga because it is treated as reverend. It is treated as a river which has a lot of respect, the value of Mother Ganga. This is how people treat it as, and this leads to a level of social alignment, religion, and an economy around that as well, because this is where we hold the Kumbh Melas, Haridwar, and then Allahabad, and then yearly Magh Melas in Allahabad. So because of this, there is an economy around the religion as well. Not only that, it gives a level of spiritual satisfaction to people. Is it not true? When people are taking the last breath, they say, give them little of Ganga water, because of the prime reasons that it has been tested and proved that the water of Ganga has some elements of purity, has some elements, natural elements which are rare to find at other places, has those healing powers which can do wonders. And this is the reason that it has been treated so well in our own thoughts, minds, but in actions, we will understand what has happened to Ganga. So 40% of the population, 50% of poorest population passing directly through 5 states, right? They are Uttarakhand, and then Uttar Pradesh, and then we have Bihar, and then West Bengal, and then debatable is Jharkhand. Yes, it passes through the edge of Jharkhand. Have a look at the map. Directly through 5 states, but then the whole catchment area, the command area of this river is in 11 states of the country. 11 states. If you look at all its tributaries or tributaries of tributaries. So this is the part that this river carries. The whole Indo-Gangetic plain is a big area. So catering to economy, lifestyle, society, religion, spiritual liberation, all of it. This is what has been the relation of Ganga with all of us, right? And more than anything, it has also helped preservation or in the preservation of ecology. There are some species of animals, flora and fauna found only in Gangetic areas. So if you have heard of Hilsa, I think you have heard of Hilsa, breathes right here at the mouth of Ganga. And then we have Gangetic dolphin. What is Gangetic dolphin? How is it related to India? National. It has got a specific reference for our own country, Gangetic dolphin. And there are many species of herbs, right? Many species of aromatic plants, many species of such plants which are very important for healing and alternate system of medicines. They are found only in this particular tract, the Upper Ganga region, right? And specificities about Gangetic dolphin, that it doesn't have eyes. Then the many other things about Gangetic dolphin, they're rare to find, but then important. And so these specific species ecology is well preserved in Ganga. But then what have we done to Ganga these days? There are 3 kinds of pollutions. If you look at this image and the one which is succeeding right now, this image, there are 3 major kind of pollutions that are responsible for the pollutions in all the river, and more so specific in Ganga. One of them is industrial effluents. The second one is sewage, household sewage, right? The the toilet or the black water that we have, right, at our homes. And the third one is the agricultural runoff. Runoff also has minerals, no, and they also attribute to eutrophication. So when we look at industrial effluents, this is one place where we see the problem arises. Have a look at this image, right? Effluents getting discharged in the river bodies, and then again the effluents getting discharged in river bodies here. On the other hand, we see human sewage, right, or puja material and other things, people participating here in activities, but then not at all clean Ganga. This is Ganga itself. And the third one is the agricultural sewage, the agricultural runoff. Government primarily has been focusing on sewage treatment and also on industrial effluents. See, whenever there is a question of cleaning Ganga, we start looking at STPs, sewage treatment plants. But this is not the only solution. We must also have the industrial effluent monitoring regions immediately placed after the river. They have been placed in cities like Delhi, but then many times they are not working well, right? There are other issues. So these are the 3 major kind of pollutions or pollutants which pollute our river, leading to lesser presence of oxygen and killing of all the flora and fauna. This also deteriorates the quality of water. Leave apart the portability of water, drinking water. It is unfit for human consumption, even for washing clothes. It is unfit for plants growth. It is unfit. The water has been declared unfit even for cleaning the animals. Imagine that. That is the level. This has been, the water is only to the level, the E quality of water, especially around the urban areas. This is the grading that has been given by Central Pollution Control Board, and this level of gradation of water is only fit for industrial cooling purposes. Imagine that, even unfit for animal. So this is the level that we have reached to, algae blooming, all those things. Amidst all this, we are trying to clean our Ganga and then Yamuna, all of them. So this is the reason that we are speaking of right now, and through understanding this complete process, we will also be able to clean other rivers, Godavari, we have Narmada, and all of them, Krishna, Kaveri, all the major rivers, Brahmaputra, all of them included. But the plan has not been successful. First was the clean, what was that? GAP, Ganga Action Plan. 1985. The second one was Yamuna Action Plan, 1993. Both of them elapsed. This elapsed after 15 years of its formation, right? And Yamuna Action Plan also elapsed at the same time in 2000. And then both the plans were reinitiated again with some more funds, but then partial funds, not spent, somewhere funds spent. This is where the status was, that the whole attitudinal change did not happen, right? The effluents kept on getting poured here. The individual homes sewage still kept pouring on, and agricultural waste, these still kept happening, right? In fact, India faces a multiple challenge here of how to deal with a pollution like this, because when you look at the urban areas, the 50 cities which lie along Ganga, they are the most polluting, not the agricultural areas. As the research says, the most polluting are the 50 cities, and they contribute to more than 85% of the pollution of the complete river. Only 50, these cities areas, industrial effluents or the human sewage, right? So these are the causes. So urban areas, the challenges are different, and the rural areas, therefore the challenges in India of water management are different. On the other hand, if you look at the example of Yamuna itself, right, we are dealing with Namami Gange, but this also, you must also understand a good example, a case study of Yamuna. Yamuna around Delhi is only 22 kilometers in Delhi city. But imagine it contributes to 70% of pollution in Yamuna. 70% of pollution only because of this 22-kilometer stretch in this river. This river is 1400 kilometers long, and this is hardly 2%. Hardly 2% of the stretch, and polluting 70% or more. In fact, there were researches during COVID times. All the rivers were cleaner, flowing better than the non-COVID times, just because industries were not working. Effluent was not there, right? So these examples, cases itself say that we are not able to clean the river, and the level of dirt has magnified in times. This has also increased the disease burden, right? And that is why another program got initiated in the year 2014, Namami Gange scheme, right? The Namami Gange program, right? Namami Gange Mission, whatever you want to call it. It has some major components. These are the components in it. Through images itself, let us talk about the components. The first one is having sewage treatment plant or water treatment plant, water cleaning plants. This is an important, this is not from India, but this second image is from India itself, Okhla and Delhi. These are the kind of treatment plants, water treatment plants that we are having here, and that are a part of Namami Gange. This is one image. There are 8 parts of it. The second part of it is cleaning the surface water. The third part is public participation. This is a very, very key part of it. Public participation, general people, not only government and private bodies and municipality doing it, but people participating. Third component. Fourth is developing a complete plan, ecosystem for the river ecology, right? Complete gram development along. So this is the gram development, and this is the development plan of a river landscape. Along with that, foresting the whole area, foresting the area around the river. Along with that, controlling and observing the industrial effluents at that particular place, and then ensuring that the biodiversity is maintained. This is the Gangetic dolphin, and this is the Hilsa fish, very popular in Bangladesh, and in fact India's Bengal, Assam and other regions in the east of India, right? Specifically during the Durga Puja celebrations, right? So where is that image? Yes, these are the ones. The 8 of them are sewage treatment infrastructure, riverfront development, river surface cleaning, biodiversity, afforestation, public awareness, industrial effluent monitoring, and Ganga Gram. Right? These are the 8 components of Namami Gange mission. And before Namami Gange, what existed? Don't need to know much. There was a National Ganga River Basin Authority. It was later replaced by a National Ganga Council. Who is the chairperson? Prime Minister is the chairperson directly. Prime Minister is the chair for National Ganga Council, and under this council there is a national mission for cleaning Ganga, and under that there is a Namami Gange program, right? So this is the structure. If you get confused, these are the names. You must know this, right? Now, why I praise a mission like this, or Prime Minister going to Varanasi this time, just a couple of months back, he went to Varanasi and he took a dip. If you have seen that image, why I appreciate that dip very much is because if the premier of the country or the premier of the state, the chief ministers, governors, if they go dip themselves, the whole landscape of the river needs to be changed, because they won't be taking a dip in the dirty river. They won't take dip in these kind of waters. No, they won't dip here. They will definitely ensure that the whole landscape is clean for them, and they must ensure, according to me, practically this is what it should be spoken, that they must take a dip every 5 days, every week. Go there every week, ensure that they dip. Secretary level officers should take a dip here, right? So that Yamuna, presently you can well imagine in Delhi, even despite exceeding the payments here, it is not getting clean. It has grown only dirtier and dirtier, and people don't even differentiate between what is a Nala and what is the river Yamuna. The water is completely black. And this despite of thousands of crores getting spent. Thousands of crores. Where is the money going? People have right to ask, because it is more than 30 years implementation of both these programs, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel. So National Mission for Cleaning Ganga, Namami Gange, has important components: Nirmal Ganga, Aviral Ganga, Ganga Gram, Gyan Ganga, many of them. So Nirmal Ganga says that we will ensure that the Ganga is clean. Clean of what? Effluents. Clean of what? The sewage. So for sewage treatment plan, the sewage treatment plans have been instated. Now I will quickly keep sharing the evaluation also. Sewage treatment plans were instated, they were there in operation, but the issue is that the municipal corporations or municipalities in these areas, they don't have sufficient funds enough to be able to conduct O&M, operation and maintenance. Keyword here, operation and maintenance. They don't have funds enough to pay for electricity of running of this institution. In fact, people are not in the habit of paying for these kind of services, and so municipal corporation also is not able to channelize the funds. What to do? STPs are non-functional even despite creation. See, availability of electricity connection and reliability of electricity connection are two things. Similarly, sewage treatment plans creation and its running are two different things. They have been created but not running. So central government came up with the plan that, all right, we will ensure that funds are allocated for this. This is one part of it. The second part of it is industrial affluents, right? They are still getting poured. The principle is polluters pay principle. The people who are ensuring that these kind of pollutants, they are generated, they have to pay for it, and they have to ensure that they are not discharged in the water. In fact, the end consumer only will pay. We are the consumers. We will eventually pay for the leather products that we wear, for the paper products if they are producing effluents, for industries like sugar. They all have been fined because effluents have been discharged into water. So industrial effluents, polluters pay principle. For the sewage treatment plants, the STP has to be running. For agricultural waste runoffs, this is where you can look at the case of 5-kilometer stretch around Varanasi that the government is developing. They have declared in this budget 5-kilometer stretch around Varanasi to be developed in for organic farming, right? So effluents will be discharged less. These are cases. They develop. See, for example, Delhi Metro was a case. The way Delhi Metro developed, first of all, they stretched only red line and blue line and a little of yellow line, 2-3 lines, a little of it. And then they realized in the year 2002, 3, 4 that it is a good model. Let's go ahead. So then they started creating plan level 2, plan 3, plan 4, and they also emulated this plan to Mumbai, to Cochin, to Lucknow, to Jaipur, to Ahmedabad, to so many other cities. So this is what is called as a case. They start running it over here, and they will see if it is running well. They will magnify it, they will escalate it, they will replicate it. All right. So this is Nirmal Ganga. The second one is Aviral Ganga. My dear friends, know one thing that all right, before that, when we talk of Nirmal, right, unpolluted, who is polluting Ganga? Is it getting polluted by itself, or are we polluting it? We are the polluters. Ganga has got its own automatic way of rejuvenation itself. Have a look. Every year the floods happen and it rejuvenates itself. See, this article will link to geography, it will link to public policy, planning, economy, all of it, right? Because river management, river landscape in urban areas or urban planning, all of them have to integrate rivers. So what happens is that when you look at floods happening around These floods are natural balances of the ecosystem. They rejuvenate the complete environment and clean it, right? Just like every morning we clear our system by drinking water, or every morning if there is a temple, any kind of temple, any religion temple, and the priest in front, they put water so that the whole area is clean. Yearly the Ganga cleans the whole area, and if you have studied, so this is the way it cleans all the surfaces. And if you would know, whenever the river cleans, there is a new soil deposit there, khadar, bangar, they are deposited. Bangar is the old alluvial, khadar is the new alluvial, and this enriches the soil of that region. This is the reason that Gangetic soil is enriched, and it helps productivity of the crops. What are we doing right now is that we are creating dams. Through creation of dams, this flow of river is not happening. The flow of river is not happening. The river flow would have gone to various other directions. See, have a look. Not criticizing this particular image of Narmada and the Statue of Unity, but all I am saying is that this whole area around this could have, I am not stating this, these are being stated by many researchers. I have read, I have studied, that's the difference, that's the only difference. I have not conducted the research, but I can tell you out of experience and out of people who have conducted this research, the river water would have flown to other places had it been here. But why isn't it here? Because there is a dam right in front of this image, in front of the statue, and because of this river should have actually ensured that the other areas would receive alluvial, fresh alluvial. Just like we need to interact with each other, rivers also interact with smaller water bodies. Right? What about the organisms staying at other areas? If they do not receive fresh water every year, they will not survive. But what this is whole human-centric development. HEP development for power is human-centric, and this is the reason that whole ecology aviral means continuous flow, right? So that flow is not happening in Ganga, and this has resulted into many issues. One issue is that just because these sediments is not getting channelized into smaller places, the sediment gets collected in Bihar and West Bengal, the lower, near the mouth of the river. And because of this, the landscape is such that there are places of high elevation and low elevation. Because of this, the water gets stagnated, more floods, more floods. Because we created barrages, because we created dams and reservoirs. That is why. So when we look at concepts like Nirmal flow, I do understand we polluted and we are going to clean it, but aviral flow, for this we have to ensure that we do not run with the model of big is better, smaller dams are better. So aviral flow, I explained you that part. We are also speaking about Gyan Ganga, right? So university, which will help in understanding the whole system of Ganga, right? The natural resources, the flora and fauna of this place. And then we also have other segments of this, right? Okay. See, presently, not even presently, but a couple of years back, the level of expenditure was such that we had to pay 1 paise for 1 liter of water treatment. And this is not less, this is quite a bit, because of the kind of effluents that we have, because of the way we are discharging. The complete ecosystem needs to get ramped up. The demand is also low, and you might right now think 1 paise per liter is low, but it will translate to thousands of crores per day, and which we cannot afford, government cannot afford. So people have to participate. Just like I was listening to an expert on this, and he said very clearly, just like we are responsible for putting food in our stomach, we are also responsible for the food that comes out of our stomach, right? We are responsible for all the sewage that we generate, we ourselves, not the government. That is where people participation is important, right? And right now only 10 to 15 to 20% sewage is getting treated, rest of it is flowing, which is increasing the level of contamination. Imagine 50% of diseases, communicable diseases, they are also transmitted through water. There are many places where river is used as the master line itself. They don't create a parallel channel to the, see, if this is river flow, they don't create a parallel channel through which the water or the sewage flows, and then there is a sewage treatment plant, and then water processes, and then it flows. They ensure that the water is flown through this only, because why to spend this much here? See, look at this. This has been happening. This is what we are seeing as of now, right? So what should we do? At urban areas, we must have the polluter pays principle. We must have devices ensured that these kind of pollutants are not discharged. A river like Yamuna has got is releasing ammonia. Is releasing ammonia from itself. Look at that level. The level of pollutants of arsenic, they have gone more than 20 times. 20 times. And we find other minerals also, cadmium and all, everything is existent there, right? So you remember the frothing of Yamuna in winters and post winters right now, just 1 month back, the level of coliform in Yamuna was more than 20 times. That was in the winters. Why so? Because this time the effluents are flowing, but then the natural processing capacity of the river also was to a limit, but it got exceeded. The flow of effluents got exceeded, and that is why the natural ecosystem, the biota, the small microbes of the river, the good ones, they also could not digest all so much, and therefore increased effluents in Yamuna. All right. So these are the kind of issues that we face when we speak of rivers, right? There are also, see, there's another important aspect which people do not focus at, but you must look at this. That aspect is that of groundwater. The groundwater and river water, they are connected to each other through base flow. This flow is not the flow that is on the in the river channel that we see all the time. It is the base flow that links the groundwater in the system to a river system as well. And since we have been extracting groundwater at all these areas through or through canals, directly through rivers, or through jet pumps, what has it resulted into is decrease in groundwater levels. If groundwater level has decreased, there are channels through which groundwater reinforces the river water, and there are channels through which river water also enforces groundwater, and this channel has gotten broken, and that is the reason that rivers have also dried up, right? And this leads to lesser of flow in Ganga and Yamuna, all of them. This is happening to other places also. Just translate the thought that I am sharing with you to other places, right? So next up is the article itself. So this is where we have spoken about the same images, right? The main pillars of Namami Gange. Remember all of them. They're important. This is not only important for Ganga, this is important for other rivers also, right? When we look at the River Cities Alliance, see, these are the topics in news. Yahi karna hai. This is what you have to do after getting into the service. This is what you have to study right now also. You will also have the edge when you go to the academy. So when we look at not only this plastic pollution, all these things are the ones which you have to study, right? We studied the ash track, right? Ash track and coal ash. So that is what we have to study. So when we look at River Cities Alliance, we are looking at learning from one river city and implementing it at the other places. For example, Sabarmati river front, right? So removing the encroachments from there and ensuring that the clean water is flowing. We have effluent treatment plants. So remember each of these 8 points. Also remember some points from the Delhi Draft Master Plan. If you don't know, one of the part of it was blue-green corridor. Blue-green corridor. So along with every place that has the sewage nala, we will ensure that the area is covered with greenery. So through this, there's a natural system of regeneration that happens. So Nirmal Ganga, Aviral Ganga, Jan Ganga, people connect, because if we are polluting the river, if we are extracting more water from the river, we have to be more aware. So people connect is very important, because eventually in the long run, it is people and their children and their children which will get affected, no? In the good way or the bad way. And Gyan Ganga, and this is why we need a repository of knowledge. Ecosystem, biota, biodiversity, and humans, all of them. This is a beautiful image. If you would like to look at this, a beautiful image, you must look at it this from the Gazette. So here we talk of the point and non-point sources of pollution. Point sources are those places which we know industrial effluents flow from here. Sewage treatment plants not working, flow from here. On the other hand, non-point sources, if we are cleaning animals, if you are cleaning utensils, if you are cleaning our own clothes, these are the point sources, or runoff from some settlement or the other, right? Dhobi ghat, cattle, mass bathing, all disposal of dead bodies. So these are point and non-point sources, major functions of the government. And municipal corporations are toward the point sources. Non-point sources not being, yes, also being focused, but major force is at the institutional level where the crisis is, right? And the sources of pollution have been mentioned here: reasons, urbanization, industrialization, exponential growth in population, water bodies, disease, all of them, right? Sewage. But whatever I spoke is more than what is mentioned here. Why? Because I spoke of the issue of the groundwater. I spoke of the issue of flood and how the construction of hydroelectric power plants or flood control has led to less of flow of the Ganges, right? So this is why the 8 components of this river become very, very important, right? So when we look at cleaning of Ganga, the findings of the economic survey, all right, yes, economic survey has presented, that is why we have presented it here, because economic survey spoke about the levels of cleaning in Ganga, right? So it says that 30,000 crores have been sanctioned under this mission, 30,000 crores. And this is non-lapsable fund, right? So Nirmal Ganga, these many sewer projects have been sanctioned, right? See, many of them instituted, but still not working, right? So government, see, the problem here is not central government only. We can't blame this. Why has it not been happening is a very, very complex problem. One of the aspect of it is the government initiative. The other is people participation. The other is the way we have planned the complete setup, planning itself. Is the plan of extracting groundwater a new plan? No, it has been age-long problem, and we are making farmers aware of this problem, but then still we are extracting water. This is leading to lesser flow in the rivers, especially in summertime. The same river which would flood in times of winter or rainy season, 80% of it flows in rainy season, and rest around 20% in the subsequent seasons would get dried up in summers. I'm talking of Ganga and Yamuna itself, right? Because of the kind of plan execution of water management that we have been doing in the years. What about the handling of the river runoff? The runoff also is also linked to green revolution too, also in causing impact on river water quality. Along with that, if we look at the quality of Swachh Bharat mission, Swachh Bharat mission is not only about ensuring that toilets are built, it is also about ensuring that the sewage is treated. It is not that the people will be able to do this daily religious activity at their homes, but then they will ensure that other places get polluted. No, the idea has been to integrate all of it, the sewage treatment plant along with the presence of toilets at home. This is not happening. The central government only cannot be blamed, because the implementation lies with state, implementation lies with municipality, actual implementation with municipal local bodies, and the sewage and the states also have to provide funds. And there are times when states are not able to provide funds. They don't have funds enough. So because of this, many tenders, they don't get released. Many projects, they don't get sanctioned, because central government says we'll pass on 60%, you pass on rest 40%. They don't have it. So government also said that, okay, fine, we will pass on the whole money at places, right? See, so a viral flow, continuous flow, right? Jan Ganga, people to river connect. River City Alliance, a good initiative. Gyan Ganga, another one. But despite the success stories that we are speaking of, what is the success story? I wonder if there is one. I'm not being pessimistic, just a realistic assessment of what is happening to the rivers. 30,000 crores allotted, and this is the situation. The point is that we as people have to learn this. We as people cannot ensure that our sewage directly enters the river water, right? So despite the success stories, the mission has failed on several fronts. CAG, not only CAG, we have Supreme Court, NGT, all of them pointing out at lack of funding. There are fundings happening, and then they are not even able to spend. If they are able to spend, they are not able to operationalize and maintain the institution. Right, so CAG findings not very good in this regard. Sewer treatment capacity also. See, we have also introduced very big sewer treatment plants, but what we require is smaller treatment plants at various other locations as well. This is what is required, right? Riverfront development. We need to develop. Yes, there are good case studies at this front, right? So Patna is developing a riverfront. Ahmedabad has one. We have Yamuna developing quite a few. Ganga developing quite a few. Problem with the concept of STPs. Achha, all right. There's one more thing to understand. That is that A sewage treatment plant are a very, very beautiful source of recycling the whole processing of sewage. Once a sewage comes here, there is a complete process. There is a 3-level process of sewage segregation and its complete management. So at one level, the sewage, the sludge gets segregated according to density, and the water is processed, and the lower part, it settles. The lower part has to be later dried, and then it can be resent to the farms. It can become a very rich source of nutrition for farms. So sending it not to the river, but sending it back to the farms, cutting the whole supply chain here, and short circuiting the whole supply here, ensuring that this dried sludge, it goes back to the agricultural plant. It is a great way forward, but we don't know it because they are not running. We don't have the ecosystem. We don't have the lifestyle in which we ensure that sewage treatment can become a reality in India. Right? Industrial effluent monitoring stations. We need this. Do we have this? We have this. Are they working? Not working. Are they all right? This is the place. See, example of this. I would like to connect it to my first article that we spoke of today evening. That was about the compliances. So these are not penal. These kind of offenses, if monitoring station records more pollution, they can put them behind you. They can put us behind the bars for this. And this is where the hands and gloves also plays an important role. So people, officials, they are hands in glove with those industrialists which are ensuring that the effluents get discharged. Through this, there is more of corruption, but river water keeps getting polluted, right? So this is the situation, right? Focusing on infrastructure development. Way forward is sewage-free water needs to be seriously considered, right? Project designs need to incorporate externalities, right? Like mining, environmental degradation, climate emergency, all of them, encroachment. One important reason for all this problem is that we have considered that the river land is the land itself. No, river body is a complete separate land. We cannot build we cannot encroach upon that river space. When we have encroached on river space, we have built infrastructure there. This is the reason for, wherever, flooding happens in those areas, then we try to cover it up. We try to, it further gets meddled with, and then this is cause for diseases and burden here, right? So global practices. This is the most important part. When we look up to the case studies, let me show you the case studies of the countries around the world. What have people been doing? So all these countries have gone through a situation like this. Developed countries. UK has gone through this. This is River Thames itself. It was very dirty. It was called as, earlier it was called as the face of death, Thames, in London, UK. And then we have many other rivers. For example, in New York, we have the river Hudson. The same issue because of the Industrial Revolution times, population explosion times, the times when there were more people and more industrial activities happening there. Not that the industries are not located along these rivers. There is a city, St. Petersburg in Russia. Neva River flows from the city itself, cuts across the city in two halves. And there are bridges getting formed. There are industrial units which already exist. All of them, all these institutions are doing very well, and they do not hamper the river ecology. In fact, India is blessed with these kind of rivers, and we can actually instate the way these developed countries have done, ensuring that the river ecology is maintained and recreation is also maintained alongside. Tourism, the value of the city grows automatically when we have such a beautiful water body, right? This exists in those developed countries, right? Hudson, Rhine River flowing across the whole of Europe, and then Seine River in France. All of them are beautiful examples. They were polluted. All of them were polluted, but then they got cleaned. How? People participation. How? Remember the 8 components of Namami Gange. I showed you the image, right? Forestation, building a plan. Not only that, people participation, sewage treatment plants, in effluents, all of them. This is it, right? In fact, some of these rivers are frozen in winters. Still, people come there in the summer times to enjoy. So this is what is the issue of Namami Gange. It's complete history, present and evaluation, right? Why is it working or it is not working? So try to connect it to, whenever a question is asked, try to connect to the basic words, aviral. And the other one is polluted or non-polluted Ganga. What is the other word? Aviral Ganga and Nirmal Ganga, and then people participation, and then the groundwater connect, and then the usage of river only as the line, river line only, not building a separate line for sewer, and the issue of dam creation, right, obstructing the flow of the river, the issue with the river ecology, the unique ecology especially of Ganga, herbal and medicinal plants. All right, Namami Gange Mission. What did we study here? We studied the significance of a river like Ganga. In fact, all rivers are the source of life, and we must treat each of them with reverence and religiosity rather than dirting them. So we studied the significance of rivers, right, and how they are also impacting human life and deaths and diseases right now. We also studied the 8 components of Namami Gange. We understood all these factors, underlying factors, which are responsible for the distress in river ecology. So distressing factors, 3 of them which are most important. We also understood what is the government doing in each of them, 3 sectors. We also understood several cases of around the world, right? We also understood the economic survey report, which speaks of the present level of management in Ganga. There were many practical examples that I showed. That is more important. The practical examples of non-functional sewage treatment plants, of creation of bigger dams, of the groundwater extraction and its linkage to the base flow. So those become very relevant. They are not mentioned in the complete summary here, but then yes, since you are a part of this video, we have all shared it with you. The question for today is discuss various issues associated with Namami Gange Mission. Various issues, oh, so many of them. What can be the steps taken to resolve these issues? Know one thing, that since you have been a part here, you have dedicated so much time here, what you should do right now is that you should note these keywords. They are not present at a place. I can tell you that because I have read documents, I have watched a lot of places. This is exclusive for you. Believe me, trust me, this is actually a gift. What you got to do, because I have taken it from at least 10 experts, different experts speaking on Ganga, and they all had different points. So pick it up and memorize it immediately. Whenever there is a question on river management, oh my dear friends, you will be blessed when you remember this and you answer a question like this. Whenever there is a question on urban planning, talk about river integration and then push in your couple of points here, valuable points here. Whenever we talk of the water resources in India, start speaking on river water, which is not only not potable, it is not even worthy of bathing of animals, right? So innumerable, maybe at least 10 cases from here, maybe at least 15-20 keywords and 5-7 themes that can get emerged from a topic like this. So very relevant and totally covered here. Let me look up if there are questions from your end. All right. Hi, Vakram, Tiyasha, Kanupriya, Ravi. Ravi, yes, Sahibganj. The river Ganga flows from the edge of Sahibganj and enters West Bengal. Yes, so flows from Jharkhand. And blind dolphin, yes, Babani, it is a blind dolphin. It tries to navigate through those signals, no? Very, very intelligent animal. And it has to come up, because it's a mammal, it has to come up to breathe. The death of gharials, in 150 gharials a few years back in Chambal Valley, thousands of river fishes dying in Mathura and Vrindavan region, all attributed to pollutions. Okay. Yes, national aquatic animal, dolphins. Good. Peace Lover says, super point, sir. Deepening of VVIP. All right, Peace Lover, I didn't get your point, but then reminding you guys of this particular aspect, which reminds me of deepening. Another solution of these kind of issues is deepening of rivers. When we deepen the river will have the load with itself, and we can also create the structures, embankments alongside, so that there is less flooding in an urban area, but the river does have more water presence. Deepening of rivers and dredging of the rivers, these are part of the solution. Also, they might have some problems. Dredging will have some problems for river ecology, ecosystem, flora, fauna living at the depth of the river. But deepening is one of the solutions which many of the people have done in this Russian river in St. Petersburg. All right. Yes, a long history of politics, but Vakram, we will look at the long history of evolution of plans for Ganga. What have been the failures, causes, and what can be done? What can be done about it? Ravi says VIP visit. Oh yes, I understood the point. Peace lover. The VVIP's visit. Yes. Ravi says same for how forest fire acts as catalyst for promoting biological diversity and healthy ecosystem. Yes, forest fires have their advantages, issues both. Thank you, Ravi. Sir, your views on truckers opposing of vaccinations and its impact on India. Okay, truckers opposing vaccination in Canada and the running away of the Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Trudeau, Justin Trudeau. All right, we will discuss this. See, it's about inclusivity, and one cannot be imposing these harsh measures of operations of trucks in case people are not vaccinated, because those are far more independent countries, right? And people do not wish to get vaccinated, what to do? But enforcing these kind of views, this is where the level of individual autonomy or the autonomy of the state or the hegemony of the state that plays a role. Okay, Netra Nirmal, thank you for pointing it out. Ravi, vermicompost. Not only vermicompost, vermi means the usage of earthworms in composting. Composting only composting can be a part of it as well. All right. The third segment of the sewage treatment plant. Kanupriya says the case study of South Korea. Okay. Losol, sir, in sewage treatment capacity point, what is MLD? MLD is, I think, I'm forgetting that word. It is millions, I'm forgetting that word. MLD, liters, something like this. I'm forgetting this. Sewage treatment plant capacities. Yes, they have been raised. It is a unit of measurement. Pooja says, sir, what we collect from its a proper drainage system is the first solution towards cleaning level. Yes, drainage system for sewage treatment and industrial effluent is a different one. For river runoff is a different one. So Vakram, 3-4 pronged approach. This is what we have to start applying. Also look at the level of planning, the creation of dams, the role that floods play. What about the extraction of groundwater resources? All of them. All right. Master plan for Delhi. All right. All right. So thank you for being a part. If you like this video enough, share some love through likes, comments and shares. We will deal with the questions offline. If you have some, please type them. Today is Friday. Please ensure that you wind up all the current affairs of the complete week. See, there is a plan through which we work. The plan is such that we might not discuss 15 or 20 articles that were in news, but we will discuss a few, and out of that we'll pick 3-4 of them which are important, and I'll discuss them in details. Rest of them we will skim through and we will move at a point after which it becomes an important article, and we will deal with it in details as well, just like we dealt with it today. So ensure that all the articles covered in details, they are covered by you and you've written them down as short notes and revised them. All right. So thank you, all of you. All right. MLDC, minimum liquid discharge. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Hima. Good night, all of you. I will see you all Monday evening. Until then, prepare well, study well. Each of you. Questions, please put them down. Share some love. Good night.